Hi, bookkeepers, and welcome back to my channel. And I'm excited to have you here today. And we are going to go over your biggest question is how do I price my bookkeeping services? How do I know that I am pricing correctly and that I'm not making any mistakes with pricing? So today we're going to take a look at that, and I'm going to give you some tips and some ways to help you price your bookkeeping services great so that you have a great income for the time that you put into your bookkeeping business. We want to make sure that we are making money, that we're not just working hard and not making any money when it's all said and done, because cleanup projects took longer than what we thought that they were going to take us. There was more accounts. There were more we had to go further back in years than we originally thought that we did. So we're going to work on that today. The first thing I do have a lot of questions on is like when you get on a Zoom call with someone, what to ask them, and how to figure out how you can even give them a quote for the services. So the first thing that we do want to look at was asking them what size of company they have. Do they have employees? Do they have contractors? How many bank accounts they have? How many credit cards they have? When did they last file their taxes? Because that will let us know possibly how far back that we are going to have to go in order to get everything reconciled for them, and then for to have accurate numbers, and so that their business is showing what their actual profits are, and now how they can grow that roofing business or that contracting business, whatever type of industry that you are serving. And it's very important that you are only serving one type of industry. You have one niche, one person that you're actually talking to. And this is going to compound your efforts, and it is going to compound your money as well. Another way that you can do this too, after you get off of that call, then you can either ask them for an invite to their QuickBooks Online, and you can go in the QuickBooks Online and you can look at how many transactions they have monthly, what their accounts payables look like, what their accounts receivables look like, if they have any payroll, how many vendors they have, how many customers they have. You can look and see if their chart of accounts is correct to begin with. If that isn't correct, you're going to have to go in there and reorganize that. And most all brand new clients that I get, the chart of accounts is the first place we have to start, because generally that is not in order. They have them out of sequence. They don't even have any account numbers. And we definitely need the account numbers, and we need the numbers that go along with those type of accounts. I wanted to invite you over on Bookkeepers Connection. I have a whole training on that. So if you need help with that, please do jump over there and take a look at that, and it will help you start doing your chart of accounts, because that is the first step. That is what we're going to look at, like when we're talking to someone. And then you can look at the size of their business. My kind of first question is what their estimated revenue is per year, or say for 2026, what is the revenue that you're trying to hit this year? And so that tells me about how many transactions that they generally will have. Like if you're just focusing on roofing companies, then you'll know if someone says $1 million in revenue, how many transactions a week that are coming through. If they say 5 million, then you're going to 5x that of what that 1 million was of transactions. And typically for me, I find out if somebody's in the 1 million bracket, maybe they're having 25 to 50 transactions coming through. If they're at 5 million, it could be 100 transactions a week. And we work on their books every week. And so that's really important too. because when you're working on their books every week, you get to know their expenses, their incomes, their deposits, their loans, everything backwards and forwards. So this is extremely important that you do have on your calendar. B&C Roofing, every Tuesday from 1 to 5, I work on theirs, okay? So that's where you want to start with that. A business doing more revenue usually has more transactions, they have more bank accounts, they have more credit cards, they have more loans. And you will find that with roofing companies, you might have a lot of loans because you have money that they borrowed, you've got equipment loans, they have a lot of trucks. So you're going to have a lot of loans with that too. So when you're pricing it, you've got to price extra for each additional loan that they have, and then each additional bank account or credit card they have. Typically, we want to cover, like in our basic pricing, a banking checking account, a business savings account, and one credit card, okay? I include that in my basic services. Now, if they have 2 or 3 different checking accounts and 2 or 3 different credit cards, or one like I just saw this week, one American Express credit card, but you've got 10 employees that are using those credit cards, and you have to treat that really like 10 credit cards there. So be careful with that type of scenario. So you definitely want to take a look at that. Okay. And then a small one owner business is different than from a growing team. You might have a roofing company that has a pretty good sized team and has 3 or 4 people, opposed to one roofer just running his own roofing business. And maybe his mom was helping him with the bookkeeping, or sister or wife or something like that. So they need help. This week, create you a task list of 3 levels of businesses: small, medium, and growing. Put together like a price sheet, so when you get on a phone call with someone, you can give them an approximate number. Let them know either if you've looked at their QuickBooks Online or you have 3 months worth of bank statements, that you can give them an engagement letter and a for sure price on it. So we can do that. With your price sheet, put on there like what your services include. If it's just basic, your basic package, it's just going through their bank feed, recording everything, reconciling, and then giving them their profit and loss. If you've got to go in and reorganize their chart of accounts or their QuickBooks setups, then you're going to charge additional for that. If they have payroll, you're going to charge additional for that. If you have to take care of contractors, you're going to charge additional for that. If you have to go into websites to ABC and download all of the invoices that you need to get in QuickBooks for accounts payable, you're going to charge extra for those things. If you're doing job costing, if you are getting in their AccuLinks or Job Nimbus and you're running that, then you're going to be charging extra for that too. So keep all those things in mind, right? And then use monthly pricing when possible, even yearly pricing. I like yearly pricing. If you give them a quote, it's going to be $12,000 for the year. It's $1,000 per month. You have your engagement letter, and then you have what all it includes. Then you have them sign that engagement letter. Now, instead of going from month to month, you have a year's contract. So this makes your business more consistent, your work more consistent, your income more consistent, because you have that recurring income coming in. Because you could have a goal like you want to get 1 client per month. And I think that's a very good goal there, that you're constantly adding on. And maybe say when I hit 10 clients or 12 clients, then that's my stopping point. Because it's important too that you're able to deliver your services when you said that you would. when you finish the cleanup when you said that you would. So if you're doing one big cleanup and then another one comes up where someone else wants you to do a cleanup, then you can say, yes, I can do the cleanup starting next month or whatever date, but in between, I'll just be updating your basic bookkeeping per month. And you want to always price the cleanup work on a separate engagement letter from your monthly recurring or your yearly bookkeeping plan for them. Okay, so those are two different quotes there. Even if, say, that you are doing a QuickBooks reorganization, then that would have a separate engagement letter for that. Organizational of QuickBooks or the QuickBooks setup, that is just like a one-time thing. And then you're going to keep up with it within your monthly bookkeeping. The cleanup, you're only going to do that one time as well. And if you priced it at $1,000 per month for your monthly recurring, then when you give them a price for a year for 2025, then you're going to give them a price of $12,000. Okay, so it's $1,000 times however many months that they are behind. Now you can always, as a goodwill and generosity, give them a 10% discount because you're doing the cleanup for a year, or a 20% discount, anything you want to do like that. And you can also charge it monthly. However, you're going to do that to help the client, but also take you out of any risk of not getting payment from a client at the same time. So you want as much upfront as you can. In a situation like that, you might say that, okay, it's $12,000, so I need $4,000 up front, and then I'll divide the rest in some payments for you. So you can work out however you need to do that. But that is your monthly pricing when possible. Yearly pricing is the way to go with that. Just bill one monthly package offer. So we have in Bookkeeping Business, our offers have just for you. I don't advertise any prices or any packages on a website or on a infographic, and I see this happen all the time. I'm not going to be doing that. I have the price sheet for me so that I know I can have it sitting in front of me when I'm speaking to a client. Even all of my coaching programs that I offer you, I have ChatGPT write that all up for me. When I'm talking to you on the phone, then I can refer to that to let you the different options and the prices and things like that. So that's what you want to use your price sheet for. You don't want to use your price sheet to go put out in the internet world, because you have to get on the phone first off you don't even know what the price is, honestly. So you have to get on the phone with the person and find out their revenue, how many employees, contractors, and all of those questions before you can even make a suggestion to them of how I can help you. And then after you've answered for them, how can I help you? Then their question to you is, what would this cost be? So just let it go naturally into the conversation. So then you can let them know, based on the prices you have, your monthly, your yearly program, and then what your cleanup is, what is your QuickBooks organization, what that is. You could be a bookkeeper that all you do is bookkeeping organization, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's a very viable business as well. For that, you could be charging $300 to $500 a month. Not a month, but $300 to $500 for a project doing that, where you're continuously just cleaning up the organization and everything in QuickBooks. So sometimes even the cleanup, you may just do the cleanup, then they have some other bookkeeper or some other family member that's going to take on the bookkeeping from there. But this is how you use your price sheets, okay? And I see this misused like all the time. But until you get on Zoom actually speaking to the client, you don't know what they're really having as challenges. They may tell you one thing, and as they're talking, you can see that's really not the thing that is they're having a challenge in their business with. It's another area. For instance, they could say, I don't know what my job profits are. But as you talk to them, they don't have a bookkeeper. You looked at their QuickBooks and the chart of accounts isn't correct. So really what they need first in order to see the job profits is for the chart of accounts to be cleaned up and organized so that it's readable, so it's understandable. So even someone who knows nothing about accounting, they actually can see on that profit and loss of what the business's story is, what is it telling them, what needs to be adjusted. So just think about all of these things. Talking about adding a buffer, because I know a lot of bookkeepers that they did a cleanup job or they're doing monthly service, but then they had this edition thing and that edition thing. You want to add a buffer of 15% to 20% on top of what you were going to quote them on it. That will keep anything that you just out of generosity need to cover. Now, if they have more checking accounts or credit cards, I will come back to them and let them know, okay, it's going to be additional $100 a month for that second checking account or that second credit card. If 10 people are in that credit card company have cards with the credit card, then it might be additional $200. But whatever your price is that you're doing. And the thing is, as you're just starting or as you already have clients, look back at your clients. And that's what we do with six-figure income. When we meet one-on-one, I'm going to be going through you, let me know how many customers you have, and then we go through everything that you're charging them for and come up with your per hour rate that you're really getting paid, just so you know how much it is with the time that you spend on that account. And then that will help you, you need to double your price when you take a look at that. But those are some things that we cover in six-figure income, so you can start regaining that money back as quickly as possible and getting you clients and giving the right prices instead of the cheap prices and the lesser prices and not as good clients. Because I can tell you, you will get much better clients at a higher rate than you do at a lower rate. People that are paying a lower rate, they want a lot more stuff and your attention a whole lot more than somebody that is paying a higher rate because they're busy doing other things and they need you just to do what you need to do to help them and help their profits. So that's how we want to look at that. But when you're speaking with them, just say the price very calmly, and you can practice that as well. If you've been charging $300 a month for bookkeeping or $500 or $800, and you're going to start charging $1,000 per month, just start practicing just saying out loud, my package is $1,000 per month, $12,000 per year. Whatever your price is, but say that out loud so that you start getting comfortable. If you're not comfortable with that number, that you start getting comfortable saying that. And then when you are on the phone with someone, the words will just slip out your mouth. You won't even be thinking about it, that this is a high price or a cheap price or whatever it is. Because with some roofing contractors, it could be $2,000 a month. It could be $4,000 a month. Some roofers have a lot of things going on and a lot of things that they need help with. So some roofers, I do like their bookkeeping. I'm doing advisory service for them too. I'm working in their business with them every single week, and they're emailing me, texting me, and I'm going into CRMs and looking up information and dissecting everything. So it can be different amounts, not just $1,000 a month. So if you wanted roofing contractors and say you were charging $2,000 a month, then you only need the 5 clients. Just You just need to come up with what you believe is going to work for you and your goals, your lifestyle, how you want to live your life, because we don't want to be like quoting low prices, just working around the clock, feeling like we never have time to do anything, and we're stressed out, we can't sleep at night, we're worried about clients and these type of things. So we want a sustainable bookkeeping business. So we have to price high enough in order to get that sustainable bookkeeping business. If you keep pricing at $300 a month, and which I see a lot of bookkeepers doing, you are constantly going to be on a roller coaster. You will not have time to do any marketing. You will not have any time to get new clients because you're too busy working that accounting. Because having a bookkeeping business isn't just doing bookkeeping. It's not what it's about. Is you're building a business, you're building your legacy, you're building your future. And so you have to treat it respectfully and treat it with pride and build your brand. And you can't afford to be doing bookkeeping for $300 a month. You just can't. We have more expenses going on than that. We have our website. We hire a VA to help us do marketing for us. You've got to answer emails. You've got to send recordings. You've got to do a lot of different things. You've got to train your own self. You got to keep keep learning and learning of just how to do bookkeeping and how to do job costing even better, how to know your clients better, all of those things. So keep those in mind. But I do want to invite you to join Bookkeepers Connection, and I'll have that link. And if you are ready to get started, just book a call with me and we'll take a look at where you are right now and what your next step is into getting that six-figure income and consistent income. Thank you, and I hope you have an awesome weekend, and we'll talk to you next Friday. Bye-bye.